Good morning. My name is Shay Weldy, and this is my story. I played basketball in high school and into my college at Illinois Central College. In fact, I won an NAIA national championship while playing power forward and 4.5 months pregnant with my son Anthony. I was inducted into the Peoria Area Sports Hall of Fame as well as the Illinois Sports Hall of Fame for my basketball success. But please don't define me as a basketball player. Define me as a fighter. I've learned how to fight against evil influences growing up in a tough neighborhood. I've learned how to fight and win playing basketball against taller and stronger players. But most significantly, I've learned how to trust in God and fight my way back from a total heart failure to a strong and blessed existence today. I received my bachelor's degree from Western Illinois University, where I majored in law enforcement and justice administration with a minor in sociology. I was also inducted into the African American Hall of Fame for my leadership and community involvement work. I worked in the juvenile probation system and as a substitute teacher. I also worked in the community programs such as Redeploy to help youth on probation make better choices with a second chance. I've helped teach them how to fight for what's right in life. All of these life experiences are important for me to share with you because they were getting me ready for the biggest fight of my life. I just didn't know it at the time. Back in 2008, I began to experience swelling in my ankles, legs, and feet and abdomen. I always worked out and been in pretty good shape, but I was all of a sudden very fatigued and able to sleep. I first sought medical attention and was told I had bronchitis. Shortly thereafter, I was still struggling, went to the ER. This was on 9/11/2008, and I was told that my heart was functioning at 10 to 15%, and I had severe heart failure. They told me they didn't know how I was surviving over the past months. My life, my fight for my life was just beginning. January 19, 2009, while getting an angiogram, I had a heart attack during a procedure. I then had a defibrillator implanted in my chest. In 2010, I got pregnant with my daughter, which, of course, due to my heart condition, that wasn't supposed to happen. But hey, things do happen. And I ended up on complete bed rest at 8.5 months pregnant. My amniotic fluid started to leak and my heart started to fail again. Um, I was battling again for my life, but I knew I would survive, and I did. And my daughter and I both survived and are both still alive. In 2016, my heart started to take a turn for the worse. I would then had to have an LVAD implanted into my chest to help pump my heart to keep me afloat until I was able to get a heart transplant. In 2016, I was also placed on the transplant list. I was working then during that time, but it was a struggle for me to just simply take a shower or walk across the room. The reality that I needed a heart transplant was pretty daunting, but I knew I had to be strong for my kids and I didn't want them to see fear in me. I called upon my faith in Jesus and my history of battling, bigger and stronger opponents on the basketball court. And I knew at that moment I was battling the facing one of the biggest opponents of my lifetime. August 3rd, 2017, I was doing my daughter's hair and we were sitting there. She asked mommy, when will you get your new heart? I said, babe, I don't know. Let's just pray about it like we normally do. We prayed. 10 minutes later, the phone rang and it was the hospital telling me they found the heart that was compatible for me. I hugged my kids. We cried together. We prayed together. I told them mommy was a fighter and we'll get through this. I left for Chicago around midnight, made it there at 3 a.m., 7 a.m. was my procedure. Upon being wheeled into the room, Beyonce's We Like the Party was playing. Someone went to turn it off, and I was like, hey, no, don't turn that off. This is about to be, a celebration of new life for me. My surgery went well, but my old body and my new heart had a rough adjustment period. I gained 150 extra pounds of water weight. My kidneys completely shut down, and I just had a lot going on. The doctors were able to correct everything that was going on, and I was on the road to recovery. I spent 3.5 months away from home in the hospital and in rehab. Today, I can proudly say that I feel better than I felt in more than a decade. I owe my good health and great fortune to a young man named Tavante from East Chicago. This young man passed away much too soon due to a respiratory infection at the age of 23. About 2.5 years after Tavante's death and my second chance at new life, I got to meet Tavante's family just a few days before Christmas in 2019. This was quite the Christmas gift for my family. Tavante's mom and I had an instant connection. She buried her head instantly into my chest the second I walked into the room. It was incredibly emotional. I sat with my two children as we sat around 20 of Tavante's family members as they told me about this young man whose heart was beating in my chest so strongly. It was a breathtaking experience. He was a giving and thoughtful young man, and I hope that I'm able to keep his legacy living on to the best of my ability. Not only am I eternally grateful for Tavante's selfless gift and his family's decision to create a legacy of life and love through donation, but I am forever grateful to Tavante's care team. Without their valiant efforts, he could not have been a donor. I have learned that in addition to my own transplant team at Northwestern, there are multiples of people required on the donation side that play a vital role in making donations happen. So thank you to the hospital staff who help ultimately give people like me a second chance at life. Thank you to all the doctors, nurses, respiratory therapists, chaplains, social workers, pharmacists, technicians, and more. You make an impact that is much larger than you ever know. And coming from a recipient, I just want you guys to know that you matter more than you know. Continue to do the job you're doing. Never lose your compassion for your job. I thank you because you help save a life like mine, and I'm able to continue to make memories for my children. Well, that is my story, and I thank you for allowing me to share my story with you, and I thank you for all that you do to support organ and tissue donation.